All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about a field that is, quite literally, all around us. It works behind the scenes, often totally unseen, but it's absolutely essential to our modern lives. I'm talking about environmental engineering. It's a discipline that's becoming more critical with every passing day, especially as we face some pretty big global challenges. So let's get into it. What does it actually take to build a healthier, more sustainable future for all of us? I really love this quote because it just paints such a vivid picture, doesn't it? Think about our cities for a second. They're kind of like giant living organisms. And every organism needs a circulatory system, right? Something to bring in the clean stuff, like water, and get rid of the waste. Well, environmental engineers, they're the doctors, the specialists who make sure that whole system runs perfectly, protecting the health of millions of people without us even thinking about it. Okay, so we know they're important, but what is environmental engineering really? It's a pretty unique field with a very specific and honestly, a pretty epic mission. So here's the formal definition, and it's a powerful one. It's not just about building stuff. It's about taking those hard principles of engineering and science and using them with two goals in mind, always: protect the planet and protect people. It's a field that's all about solving some of our toughest problems, from dealing with pollution to figuring out how to manage our precious resources. Now, the scope of this field is, well, it's huge. But the good news is we can break it down into three main areas, three core pillars. You can think of these as the major battlegrounds where these professionals are making a stand for a healthier world. First up, you've got water. That means everything from designing systems that deliver clean, safe drinking water to our taps to treating wastewater so it doesn't harm our ecosystems. Then there's air quality, developing the technologies that help us, literally breathe easier. And finally, waste management. This covers the whole shebang, from figuring out better ways to recycle to cleaning up really contaminated industrial sites. These three pillars, they basically support the health of our entire civilization. Okay, so we know what it is, but why does it matter so much right now? I mean, the fundamentals are one thing, but the real story today is the massive, and I mean massive, demand for these skills. There are some really powerful forces at play that are just creating a surge in opportunities. And this table just lays it out perfectly. Look at the connection here. Our cities have pipelines that are decades and decades old. Well, that directly creates jobs for engineers to design and inspect the new ones. Water scarcity is becoming a bigger issue, right? Boom, that drives a need for specialists who can model where the water is and design ways to conserve it. And every time environmental regulations get an update, you need experts to handle all the compliance and permitting. See? Every single problem creates a brand new role. So, with all this demand, what does that actually mean for someone thinking about getting into this field? Well, to put it simply, the outlook is incredibly bright. This isn't just about finding a job, it's about building a stable, resilient, and really rewarding career. So, the US Bureau of Labor Statistics projects a solid 4% job growth through 2034. Now, you might hear 4% and think, is that a lot? But in the world of engineering, that number signals something really important: stable, consistent, long-term demand. These jobs aren't going anywhere because the problems they solve, well, they aren't going anywhere either. And that incredible stability, it also happens to come with excellent pay. In 2024, the median annual salary hit over $104,000. That just goes to show you how much value the market places on the skills needed to protect our environment and our health. And hey, these aren't just abstract numbers on a screen. Check out this real-world example. One city, Greenville, decides to commit $2.4 billion to overhaul its water systems. And the result? Dozens of new engineering jobs were created for just that one single project. That's how these big infrastructure investments translate directly into amazing careers. This chart tells a really important story about just how much potential is in this career. An environmental engineering technician makes a good, respectable salary. But just look at that jump for a full-fledged engineer. That gap, it's not just a number. It really highlights the immense value of getting that formal engineering degree and going after those advanced certifications. So maybe all this is sounding pretty compelling. Maybe you're interested. So how do you actually build a career in environmental engineering? Let's break down the practical steps and the skills you really need to be focusing on. So, employers are definitely looking for a specific set of tools in your toolkit. You'll see things like GIS mapping. That's basically using digital maps to analyze environmental data. Then there's hydrology modeling, which is super cool. It uses software to predict how water moves, which is crucial for things like flood control. And then you have the really practical skills, like knowing how to do environmental impact assessments, how to coordinate a project, and how to navigate that complex world of permitting. If you can master these, you become incredibly valuable. Now listen up, because this right here is a huge tip. If you want to supercharge your career, you need to focus on getting your professional engineer license, or PE. Think of it as the ultimate stamp of approval from the state, saying you are a recognized expert. It is hands down the most important key to unlocking those senior leadership roles, and it can boost your salary by a massive 15 to 25%. It is a total game changer. And the cool thing is, the career ladder is pretty clear and totally achievable. You start out by getting that hands-on experience, maybe as a field tech or a design assistant. From there, you specialize. You earn that all-important PE license or other certifications. And that specialization, that becomes your launchpad into leadership roles, like project manager or even director, where you're the one shaping those major environmental projects. So we'll end with this thought. Our cities are getting older, our climate is changing, and the challenges we're facing are only getting more complex. This isn't just about a career path, it's really a call to action. The question isn't if we need a more sustainable world. The real question is, who's going to step up and actually build it? And based on everything we've seen today, I think the answer is pretty clear. It's going to be environmental engineers.